The story behind Yet. Ooh, I can't sing this song without getting emotional, so I can guarantee I won't be able to talk about the song without getting emotional. Um, but just because I wrote this song at one of the lowest points in my life. The year before was one of the best years of my life. I had experienced so much success in my career, in my relationships, in my personal life, and just in so many aspects. And the next year, I just felt like all of that was taken away and just kind of crumbled. I lost a lot of what I thought my future was going to look like in every aspect of my life, in my career, with music, in my relationships. I had been in a serious relationship for almost 6 years and that ended. I had lost a relationship with myself. And the hardest and scariest part for me through all of that was feeling like I had lost a relationship with God, doubting Him in a way that I never had before. And that was terrifying for me because I've always been someone that really leans into faith in the hard moments. And I mean, I'm not perfect by any means, but that's always something that gives me hope and that has given me purpose. But I remember that year, I just felt like I didn't even have that anymore. And I'd never experienced that before. I felt so ashamed of that. I didn't understand why all of the things that were so important to me were taken away and just crumbled like right before my eyes, and I felt like I couldn't do anything about it. I felt like I had no control, and I am grateful for the perspective I have now, because looking back, I can see now how I put so much of my identity in my career and in my relationships and in what people thought of me and what people expected of me and in achievements and in all these things, and I was putting my identity in everything except for God. And so it's no wonder why my confidence was shot when all of these things started crumbling, because I had nothing left. And so as hard as that year was and as hard as those experiences were, I'm grateful now because it's shown me how crucial it is for me to put my identity and my confidence and my faith and trust in God and in nothing else, because anything else can be taken away. And I think what was hard for me when I wrote this song, I felt like my faith wasn't being taken away, but I didn't know, honestly, I didn't know if I'd ever get back to where I was, because I'd always been this person that had so much faith and that could always find the good in things and that could always find the bright side. But I just felt hopeless. And I just felt like God was upset with me, or I did something wrong and God was punishing me, and I just felt this shame and this guilt. But I was so blinded by my own pain that I couldn't see how much His hand was in everything that was happening. And I felt that deep down, but I didn't want to admit it because I was so frustrated because of all these things that I wanted. But He had a bigger plan for me. And so when I wrote this song, I hadn't approached Him in sincere prayer in a long time. I had prayed. I had done just the kind of like really surface level prayer for a long time. And I got to a point where I felt like I was at rock bottom. I felt like a shell of a person. I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't recognize a lot about myself. And I remember one night, I just kneeled. I kneeled at the side of my bed. And the only thing I could say was, God, please don't give up on me. Like, I'm really trying, and I know it's not much. But I feel like I'm drowning here. I feel so lost and alone. And I just remember like weeping and like breaking down, and I couldn't formulate thoughts or words. I couldn't even speak. I was so emotional, and I just felt like I needed to go to my piano. My piano was right on the side of my bed, and so I went and sat down and I just started playing the piano part. And I remember it was like the prayer I had been trying to pray for a year just came the second I started playing the piano. And I just give up on me yet.